Welcome to the Psychology and Physical Training channel. Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about something incredibly important for our well-being, mental peace. We hustle, we strive, we're constantly bombarded with messages about what we should be doing, who we should be comparing ourselves to. It's exhausting, and it can leave us feeling empty, anxious, and disconnected from ourselves. We're going to talk about real practical strategies for cultivating a sense of inner peace, even amidst the chaos of everyday life. If you're ready to reclaim your calm and protect your mental health, let's dive right in. First on the list is a habit that many of us fall into without even realizing it, constantly seeking validation. Whether it's from social media likes, compliments from others, or approval from family and friends, seeking external validation can seriously damage your mental peace. Think about it. When your sense of worthiness is dependent on what other people think, you give away your power. This constant need for approval can leave you feeling anxious, insecure, and never truly good enough. The truth is, true peace comes from within. It comes from knowing your worth, owning your story, and living in alignment with your values, not from seeking the approval of others. So how do we break free from this validation trap? It starts with cultivating self-compassion, learning to accept ourselves for who we are, flaws and all. It's about recognizing our own inherent worthiness, independent of external validation. Next up is a big one, overthinking and ruminating. We all know what it's like to replay conversations in our heads or obsess over decisions we've made. But constantly dwelling on the past or worrying about the future can leave you stuck in a cycle of stress and anxiety. It's like our minds get caught in a loop, replaying the same worries, the same fears, the same what-if scenarios over and over again. This kind of chronic overthinking can be incredibly draining. It robs us of our energy, our joy, and our ability to be present in the moment. So how do we escape this overthinking spiral? Mindfulness is key. Practices like meditation, deep breathing exercises, and even simply spending time in nature can help us cultivate this sense of mindfulness, allowing us to step back from the chaos of our thoughts and find a place of stillness within. Remember, you are not your thoughts. Comparing yourself to others is a surefire way to destroy your mental peace. Whether it's comparing your looks, success, or lifestyle, constantly measuring yourself against others can lead to feelings of inadequacy and frustration. In the age of social media, it's easier than ever to fall into the comparison trap. We're constantly bombarded with curated versions of other people's lives, their highlight reels, their perfectly filtered photos, their carefully crafted narratives of success and happiness. It's important to remember that what we see on social media is often a far cry from reality. We're comparing our behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reels. The truth is, everyone is on their own unique journey. We all have our own strengths, our own challenges, our own definition of success. Instead of focusing on what others are doing, try shifting your attention inward. Celebrate your own accomplishments, no matter how big or small. Another common habit that erodes mental peace is neglecting self-care. When life gets busy, it's easy to put our own needs last. We prioritize work deadlines, family obligations, and social commitments, often at the expense of our own well-being. But ignoring your physical, emotional, and mental well-being leads to burnout and exhaustion. Self-care isn't selfish, it's essential. It's about recognizing that you can't pour from an empty cup. So, how do we prioritize self-care in the midst of our busy lives? It starts with small, intentional acts of kindness towards ourselves. It's about setting boundaries and learning to say no to commitments that drain our energy. It's about making time for rest and rejuvenation, even when we feel like we don't have a spare minute. Holding on to grudges and resentment can quietly eat away at your mental peace. It's understandable to feel hurt or upset by others' actions, but harboring resentment only hurts you in the long run. When we hold on to anger and resentment, we're essentially allowing those negative emotions to take root within us. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is a powerful act of self-compassion. It's not about condoning the behavior of others, but rather about releasing ourselves from the burden of carrying around that anger and resentment. It's about acknowledging that we've been hurt, allowing ourselves to feel the full weight of those emotions, and then choosing to let go. Forgiveness is a process, and it's not always easy, but it's a journey worth taking if you want to find true peace. Being a people pleaser might seem harmless, but always putting others' needs before your own can be incredibly draining. Constantly saying yes to everyone often leads to neglecting your own boundaries and priorities. We may think we're being kind, considerate, helpful, but often, people-pleasing stems from a place of insecurity, a fear of rejection, a need for external validation. Learning to set healthy boundaries is crucial for breaking free from the people-pleasing trap. It's about recognizing that it's okay to say no sometimes, that it's okay to prioritize our own needs, that it's okay to disappoint others in service of our own well-being. It's about understanding that true connection and intimacy come from a place of authenticity, not from pretending to be someone we're not. Procrastination is another sneaky habit that can destroy your mental peace. Putting off tasks often leads to stress and anxiety as deadlines approach or responsibilities pile up. We tell ourselves we'll do it later, that we work better under pressure, that we just don't have time right now. But deep down, we know that procrastination is often driven by fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. And so we avoid, we distract, we numb ourselves with social media, Netflix, anything to avoid facing those uncomfortable feelings. Breaking the procrastination cycle requires us to identify the root cause of our avoidance. We can break down overwhelming tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. And we can create a supportive environment for ourselves, one that promotes focus and productivity. In today's world, it's easy to be overwhelmed by consuming too much negative media. Constant exposure to bad news, online arguments, or toxic content can take a toll on your mental peace. We live in an age of information overload. We're constantly bombarded with news headlines, social media updates, and sensationalized stories designed to grab our attention and keep us hooked. And let's be honest, a lot of it is negative. This constant barrage of negativity can leave us feeling anxious, stressed, and overwhelmed. It can distort our perception of the world, making us believe that everything is terrible, that danger lurks around every corner, that there's nothing but conflict and negativity out there. But here's the thing, we have a choice. We have the power to choose what we allow into our minds and hearts. Be mindful of your media consumption. Living in the past or the future is another common habit that disrupts mental peace. Whether you're constantly replaying past mistakes or worrying about what's to come, being stuck outside the present moment can cause unnecessary stress. When we dwell on the past, we often get caught in a cycle of regret, guilt, and shame. And when we worry about the future, we create anxiety and stress for ourselves over things that may or may not ever happen. The present moment is all we truly have. It's the only place where life is actually happening. Practicing mindfulness can help us cultivate a greater awareness of the present moment. It's about learning to ground ourselves in the here and now, to pay attention to our senses, to appreciate the simple beauty of the world around us. Last but not least, failing to set boundaries can completely drain your mental peace. Whether it's at work, with friends, or in relationships, not having clear boundaries can lead to feeling overwhelmed, taken advantage of, or burned out. Boundaries are essential for protecting our time, our energy, and our emotional well-being. They are the limits we set to define what we will and will not tolerate in our lives. Without healthy boundaries, we become susceptible to burnout, resentment, and a general sense of feeling overwhelmed. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. It's about recognizing our own worth and communicating our needs to others. It's about understanding that it's okay to say no to protect our energy, our time, and our mental health. So, there you have it, 10 habits that destroy your mental peace. Now that you're aware of them, it's time to start making small changes to protect your mind and your well-being. Remember, mental peace isn't something that just happens. It's something you create with your daily habits and choices. Which of these habits do you find yourself struggling with? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more tips on well-being, and share this video with anyone who needs a little extra peace in their life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.